breaking a short time ago, new disclosures from the Office of Government Ethics, shining a new light on just how much Donald Trump is enriching himself while he's been in the White House. The president reported an astonishing $515 million from the sale of crypto tokens released by World Liberty Financial, along with another $65 million from equity in that company. Add on another $635 million from so-called celebration coins, also known as meme coins. And that, along with a few other income sources, amounts to over $1.4 billion on cryptocurrency and coin ventures. Ventures that he gets a direct say in regulating and influence.
Stay on this video because Trump's reported $1.4 billion in crypto-linked sales may become much more than a business headline. It could become one of the biggest corruption questions surrounding his presidency, his family, and the people closest to his political machine. The number alone is huge, but the real question is not just how much money Trump made. The real question is where that money came from, who was behind it, and where the public power was used to create private profit.
If you take a walk by the White House, there's a lot of fencing up because there's a new ballroom that's under construction. Our president said this about the ballroom that's under construction. I'd like to play the tape.
There's a magnificent walkway that goes into what will be the most beautiful ballroom anywhere in the world. So we did this, no charge to the taxpayer whatsoever. We're going to have the finest ballroom, I believe, anywhere in the world. We didn't ask for any tax money. We have no taxes. This is taxpayer-free. We have no taxpayer putting up 10 cents.
There will never be another thing like this, I don't believe, built from a court standpoint. This is all my money and donors' money. This is tax-free.
And Trump did say no taxpayer money would be spent on the ballroom, but contractors' invoices show otherwise.
Crypto is often presented as private and untouchable, but that is not entirely true. Transactions can leave trails, blockchain records can be studied, wallets can be tracked, and if investigators connect crypto money to policy decisions, foreign interests, tariffs, or government contracts, this story becomes a political nightmare because this is not about a normal campaign donation. Campaign money is public. It has rules. But crypto deals, private transfers, loans, foreign investment, and family business partnerships are much harder for the public to see clearly. And that is exactly why critics are raising alarms.
From the Washington Post, a detailed project summary prepared for the White House by the contractor more than 3 weeks before Trump's comments estimated the total construction cost at $600 million, with more than half coming from taxpayers, according to a copy of the contractor estimate obtained by the Washington Post. Mr. President, we know that you have over $1.4 billion. Clearly, you can make up the difference, and taxpayers do not have to be on the hook for your ballroom.
That's
what I got.
I didn't see that one coming. That was a good term, baby. I appreciate that. Yes, write that check.
Wondering where this was going.
Yeah, write that check, Mr. President. Look, the idea that you go out there, we talked a little bit earlier about the $600 million no bid contract, the $16 million no bid contracts, the no bid contracts, and all this other stuff. You know, oh, the American people aren't paying for this. There's a little thing called ethics. There's a little thing called the perception of corruption. There's a little thing called influence peddling. I remember as Lieutenant Governor, I tried to get some supporters of our administration to contribute not new, but used computers to a high school that was in desperate need of the school of it. And I was told emphatically I could not get those donors to do that because of the appearance of impropriety, and unethical influence in that regard. And I respected that.
If foreign governments, billionaires, or major corporations wanted access to Trump, they may not need to write a public check. They could move through business deals, crypto projects, licensing agreements, investment, or companies connected to Trump's family. That is where the danger begins. The Trump family brand has always mixed politics, money, celebrity, and power. But now the concern is bigger. If Trump's family or close allies benefited while the White House make decisions on tariffs, contracts, trade, or regulation, Congress will want answers. Who invested? When did the money move? What policy changed afterward? Who received access? Who received contracts? And did the American people lose while Trump's circle gained? Those are the questions that can turn a scandal into an investigation.
And so I went out and made the case in the budget to put the money in for such use. If this is so important, put the money in the budget and have the Congress vote up or down on it. Put it in front of the American people. But all of this is just BS for Donald Trump to grift, and grift, because that's all you know how to do. You can't run the country, but you can run it into the ground. And that's exactly what this is. And it's so unfortunate that we sit back and allow this man to sit in that White House and his kids and his family to take from the American people every damn day. How the hell do you make $1.4 billion in a year? Come on.
Well, and I don't think anything illustrates what you just described better than the $635 million that he made from royalties related to these meme coins. And for our viewers who don't understand what a meme coin is, I think it's worth explaining that because it tells that story crystal clear. It's a type of cryptocurrency that's actually built around a joke or a trend or a famous face rather than a real product or company. So this is something that Trump launched ahead of the inauguration on his name recognition alone. And at the end of the day, the buyers of the meme coin, regular citizens, voters, people who might have voted for Trump, mostly lost money.
Tariffs are part of this story too. Trump presents tariffs as a weapon to protect America. But tariffs also create pressure. Importers panic, foreign exporters panic, companies lose money, governments want relief, and when powerful people are desperate for access, corruption risks grow fast. If private interests believe they could benefit by getting close to Trump-linked business, that is a serious problem. This is why investigators would not only look at speeches or public announcements, they would look at financial records, crypto holdings, loans, contracts, investment timings, foreign investors, and family partnerships. Timing is everything.
It's been clear that the president and his family have been profiting hugely during Mr. Trump's first year in office. But today, the New York Times editorial board published an estimate of just how much they've raked in over the past 12 months. By their accounting, it's at least $1.4 billion. Now, that includes income from licensing Trump's name, overseas real estate projects, as well as hundreds of millions of dollars from investments in cryptocurrencies, the money that Amazon paid Melania Trump, the family, for a documentary about Melania Trump. The New York Times investigative reporter Russ Buettner is here. It is staggering, a figure of nearly $1.4 billion. I mean, it's closer to $1.5 billion. It's incredible. Did it surprise you?
It's absolutely shocking. I think it's been shocking every month. I mean, I studied Donald Trump's finances, including obtaining his tax returns with some colleagues, for over a 20-year period. And this amount is really greater than the sum total of everything he made from his inheritance, from being on The Apprentice, and from all the licensing deals while he was on The Apprentice.
It's more than he ever made in his whole life.
I think those things were his big profit centers because his business performance was uneven.
Right.
So those three things that require really his golden days, this is more than that all in 1 year.
And
if money moved before a helpful policy decision, investigators will notice. If a company benefited after connecting with Trump-linked businesses, investigators will notice. If foreign interests gain access after investing in projects tied to Trump's circle, Congress will notice. That is why impeachment talk could grow. Impeachment is not a criminal trial. Congress looks at abuse of power, corruption, and whether a president used public office for personal gain. If enough lawmakers believe the money trail shows that this could become a serious constitutional fight. Criminal exposure is lower. It takes documents, witnesses, subpoenas, financial tracing, and prosecutors building a case piece by piece. But financial cases can become very dangerous once the records start lining up.
I mean, this is just the first year. It seems like there's no reason why. I mean, they're open for business.
They're open for business, and they've been expanding things on a regular basis, especially into cryptocurrencies. They recently just transformed their social media company into a Bitcoin repository company, which is a cryptocurrency, and now they're moving that into some sort of power generation company. But they are just rapidly trying to gather every sort of business that they can to monetize this period.
The brazenness of it is remarkable. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Donald Trump Jr., I don't think the club that Donald Trump Jr. set up in Washington, which is like a private members club, which essentially kind of promises access for paying members of the club to government officials and cabinet secretaries.
That's right.
That wasn't part of this.
That's not part of this, no. And that really seems kind of quaint compared to what they're doing in cryptocurrencies, where it looks like over the last year they've personally pocketed the family and a few partners somewhere in the neighborhood of $800 million or more.
State investigations could also matter. A president can talk about pardons, but federal pardons do not erase state prosecutions. If state attorneys general find evidence of fraud, corruption, business misconduct, or illegal financial arrangement, Trump may not be able to escape by calling it politics. That is why the $1.4 billion figure is only the beginning. The biggest story is the network around it. Crypto, tariffs, foreign money, family business, government contracts, policy decisions, private profit, and political power. Put all that together, and you have the kind of scandal that can dominate Washington.
That's unheard of wealth for that.
And there's linkage, a lot of linkage between the businesses and, you know, places the U.S. is actually involved in doing, you know, U.S. foreign policy and, U.S. interests.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of this money comes, the cryptocurrency money comes to them anonymously. We don't know, the public can't figure out who it is. Most of it comes from overseas entities. You can tell that from the exchanges it goes through. And a lot of it, as you said, comes from countries where they have a real interest in it. There's been some direct conflicts, especially with a big deal that came through the United Arab Emirates. They decided to use a Trump cryptocurrency to pay for a $2 billion investment.
Right, which is very few people would have chosen to use that particular cryptocurrency.
It was brand new and struggling and unproven. And they did that. That will put about $80 to $100 million a year in the pockets of the Trumps. And within a few months, within a few weeks actually, Trump decided to overturn a policy that had long rejected the UAE's pleas to get AI computer chips from us because they were thought to be too close to China. He just did away with that and then pardoned the fellow who was on the other end of the deal. So there's like two conflicts in one deal.
It's remarkable. Russ Buettner, it's in the Times today. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Trump can attack the media, he can attack judges, he can attack prosecutors, he can call every investigation a witch hunt. But if investigators already know where to look, he cannot simply make the money trail disappear. Financial scandals are different. They live in documents, bank records, blockchain trails, contracts, tax filings, loan papers, and private communications. And if investigators connect the dots between crypto money, policy decisions, foreign access, and family profit, this could become one of the most dangerous scandals of Trump's political life. Because the final question is simple.
Meantime, this week, Pakistan becoming the latest to partner with the World Liberty Financial, the crypto company that counts the Trump family as one of its top investors. But the dealings by the company now raising some questions around potential conflicts for the first family. Mackenzie Sigalos sat down with one of the president's sons and joins us now. What'd you learn?
Hey, good morning, Andrew. So foreign investments into World Liberty Financial is a big point of concern for Democrats and government ethics experts. This project has its own token where the Trumps collect 75% of revenue. And we've already seen Chinese billionaire Justin Sun publicly disclose a $75 million investment into that token right as the SEC began negotiating a settlement in its fraud case against him. And then recently, this project decided to launch its own dollar-pegged stablecoin, USD1. The Emirati-owned MGX fund is using it for a $2 billion investment in Binance, the same exchange that just settled with U.S. regulators for $4.3 billion over sanctions violations. And critics say it all raises major conflict of interest concerns for the Trump family. So I asked Eric Trump what he would say to those critics.
It's a beautiful thing if the largest crypto exchange on earth wants to put so many people who have never touched the U.S. dollar on the U.S. dollar. That's a beautiful thing for the United States of America, and that should really be embraced.
Meanwhile, the White House says there's no conflict of interest because the president's assets are in a trust managed by his children. Guys?
Was America being governed for the public interest, or was the presidency turned into a private cash machine for the people closest to power? If Congress decides the answer is the second one, then Trump's $1.4 billion crypto story may become much more than a scandal. It may become the foundation for the next impeachment fight.